The United States began its blockade of the Strait of Hormuz this morning, and every analyst you will see on television today will tell you the same thing. This is about Iran's nuclear program. This is about preventing rogue state from building a bomb. This is about regional security. Every one of them is wrong, not partially wrong, structurally wrong. Wrong in the way that a man describing the shadow on the wall is wrong about the object casting it. The Strait of Hormuz is not a military objective, it is a ritual site, and the blockade announced today is not the escalation of a war, it is the execution of a script, one written long before Operation Epic Fury began on February 28, long before the bombs fell on Tehran during the holy month of Ramadan, and long before JD Vance walked out of Islamabad after 21 hours of field navigation. But to understand why this is true, we need a theoretical framework. Let us go back to 480 BC. The Persian Empire under Xerxes does not invade Greece because it needs Greek land. Persia already controls the known world. The invasion makes no material sense. What Xerxes needs is a demonstration, a visible theatrical display of Persian omnipotence that will consolidate the loyalty of every vassal state watching from the periphery. Greeks are almost incidental. The audience is the empire's own provinces, Egypt, Babylon, the satraps of Asia Minor. The message is resistance is cosmologically impossible. Thermopylae destroys this calculation, not militarily but symbolically. 300 Spartans don't defeat Persia, but they reveal something the entire audience needed to see. The emperor can bleed, and the moment that symbol is broken, the architecture of the empire begins to dissolve. Now ask yourself, who is the real audience for everything happening at the Strait of Hormuz right now? It is not Iran. I want to give you two analytical tools today. Hold them together because they are most powerful when used simultaneously. The first is the law of asymmetry. The underdog defeats the empire not through superior force but through three specific advantages: energy, ideological or material, openness, flexibility, and speed and cohesion, internal unity. The empire, by contrast, loses through bureaucratic mass and through an inability to see its own decline. While it is happening, here is the everyday analogy. Imagine a heavyweight boxer who hasn't trained seriously in 3 years but refuses to acknowledge it because his identity is completely fused with being the champion. He gets in the ring with a smaller, faster